I'm not gonna lie, I'm actually glad they showed that their personal lockers have a lock on them, because I do remember a lot of people were like, wait, so the money was just placed in a locker, most likely assuming it was just one that didn't have a lock on it. So I do like seeing that, though this episode seemingly reveals that Tenji, the glasses-wearing character, is the one behind everything. And this is interesting because as much as I believe that he is revealed to be the one who took the money and did all the sabotaging, at the same time, there's clearly more than meets the eye going on, and that the craziness of this ride is just getting started. And I think it's all gonna boil down to how our lead man, Yuuichi, destroys the mentalities of other people, because obviously, even if the viewers know who's behind it, we don't necessarily know when the individual characters are going to realize that fact. And I think Yuichi's the kind of guy who's going to destroy people to get to the truth. And I think there's a lot of mystery behind so many different characters' actions, and I think this game in general is going to evolve from just trying to find the traitor into let's see how many people keep their humanity intact as we simultaneously not only break apart friendships, but who knows how crazy it's going to get from here. Honestly, I think it makes sense given everything that we've seen, though I do think up until this point, everyone was an equally likely suspect. Though, truthfully, I was leaning more into the fact that no one was a traitor and that it was all puppeteered by the people who keep watching. But I like the idea of, like, it's not so outlandish to the point of being like, okay, yeah, we're clearly watching anime, but it has just enough spice to make it interesting. Like the fact that, like, how would this man know all these secrets if, as an example, Kokorogi's past, right? Which was she used to pay to be someone's date, and then it got pretty dark at the end there before she seemingly ran away, at least that's what she's saying. The fact that he gave, this girl a charm that was supposed to, like, obviously doesn't look like anything suspicious, actually a microphone, and then that way he can actually listen in and learn these secrets, right? And I think, if anyone had the biggest scumbag vibes, probably him, truthfully, even though I wasn't fully convinced it was him. Like, I didn't really pick one person over the other, but there was a level of scumbagness, I think, after episode 2 that you don't see him coming out as the traitor seemingly as that much of a shock when he does appear to have that kind of like, I'm going to get this girl no matter the cost sort of a situation. So I like seeing that, and it's going to be interesting because over the past few episodes, it's very much been, how is this group going to keep their friendships intact as there's seemingly at least one, maybe even more traitors in their mix. And I think it's going to be interesting because now that the viewer seemingly has learned the identity, I'm interested to see if it's going to shift more into Yuichi's personal opinions on who could be the traitor rather than seeing everyone at a distance, because up until this point it really has been presented as anyone could be the traitor, and that's what I liked about it. So now the fact that we're 3 episodes in and I heard that this story only gets better with time, it's not like it jumps the shark too early or anything like that. I mean, this ride's just getting started and that's exciting. Though I will say my personal favorite point in this episode had to be the past, the compensated dating. I mean, just to reveal, we went from plastic surgery last week, which we get more clarification this week about how it was cosmetic to fix a scar and things like that. But to have someone come out and then people are like, wait, so for someone acting that pure, you're not a virgin. And just the reaction and then immediately pinning it on the other girl there because she was the only one who should know that. And I was like, well, shit, that actually does maybe make her the traitor, so to speak. But I like the idea that, it's pretty sad. I think there's probably going to be people who will be like, no, that doesn't make sense. There's no way someone who's being bullied would pay their bullies to be nice. Absolutely they would. The shit that she went through that, like, they showed us, like, that's enough to make people kill themselves in school, right? So the fact that, she needed money so that they would leave her alone, and that made her feel happy, even though that wasn't happiness. And then the fact that she started dating, it went from just talking and listening to then dinner dates to then cosplay to risky photos to it's just going to be touching nothing else. And I mean, it's up in the air whether that's true. I am willing to believe that she's sugarcoating it. I kind of feel like they went all the way in that moment and she feels ashamed that, she's trying to brush it off as she ran away before it was too late. But we don't know until more is revealed, right? But I think in terms of a backstory and a dark secret, that was without a doubt the biggest bombshell to date. And I felt bad for the girl. I really, really did, because it's not like, she had this perfect life and, she made some mistakes. It's literally she was being bullied to the point of probably suicidal thoughts, and that was the only way that she felt that she could be safe. And it's sad, it really is. But when our boy whispers in her ear and he pulls away, honestly, before everything that happened afterwards, I was like, shit, is he actually the one who took the money? Like, that really went through my head there because there was something like, he said something and it felt like he was the menace. And I mean, even the characters watching in and observing this, seemingly they don't even know, based on what I'm seeing anyway, of who did it. It seems like it gets set up in a way that even they don't, so they can analyze the situation. But it's pretty wild. Honestly, for me personally, this isn't my favorite show of the season, but in terms of being able to get up and talk about something on camera, this is my favorite show that I'm talking about this season. It's just, these are the types of show that make your mind race. It's not trying to be the most critical masterpiece of all time, but goddamn, the character interactions and the fact that we're not going murder mystery, the fact that we're going psychological mind trip mystery, those are the types of things that I don't think are utilized enough in this medium because it's when it becomes death games, right? And death games are great. They can be done really well. But I think if we compare the number of times anime tries to be a death game versus a mind trip, honestly, mind trips get the short end of the stick. And maybe it's just because there's not a lot of great source material out there, or maybe the source material that is there, studios and committees just think that the murder will get more popular. But goddamn, Tomodachi Game is amazing for entertainment value, and I love the trips to see how these characters are breaking. I also appreciate how they're not rushing through the game seemingly. Like the first episode, sure, it had the first one, right? But the fact that episodes 2 and 3 are still in the same setting, I think for some people that might be like, oh, I want to see all these different, almost like childhood games. But I like the fact that we could be in one setting, one game for 4 episodes potentially, and the game itself isn't even that much of a focus. It's the thing that keeps them there, and there's rules to keeping them there. But the thing that makes it entertaining is watching these characters break and start to distrust people. The guy sitting alone, oh, he clearly has to be the traitor. And then they just, for the viewer, reveal it. Honestly, I thought they weren't going to do it this episode because they started like filtering the voice with this kind of like glitchy effects. So it's like, oh, it's probably not going to happen until maybe next week, the week after. Maybe they'll keep it a mystery for a long time. But the fact that they just drop it here is interesting. But like I said, there's more than meets the eye. I don't think the traitor is the big thing that this show wants to go for. And potentially there could be multiple traitors. And even if they don't go the multiple traitors route, the mind trips and the psychological thriller aspect is clearly just getting started. I love the mascot still just being the creepiest guy imaginable. The shit that happens with like the dramatic shots and the almost like Chucky faces, it's just bone chilling. Like just imagining seeing that as he's talking that menacingly, as you're wondering, can you trust any of your friends anymore? And are you going to be in so much debt you're absolutely screwed? And I think given the fact that we literally have a girl who used to essentially sell her body for dates, the fact that she could be piled with that type of debt, I mean, I'm sure that's racing through her mind that she'll have to do that again. And I bet that's causing some serious PTSD. I mean, I personally love the show. I love these kinds of shows, but I like the fact that it's not one of those shows that I feel myself needing to defend, right? Because there's certain shows, right, that are kind of like, it's so bad, it's good. But this one, I think, is legit a good show that knows what it's doing. And I love seeing friendships break over what should be the most simple thing at the start, but then becomes so personal, and those personal attacks, you can't just say you're sorry and move on with your day. Like, that shit's gonna last and that shit's gonna sting for some time. And honestly, the fact that we're already at this point by episode 3, I feel like there ain't gonna be friends in general by the time. I mean, I wouldn't even be shocked if by the end it does turn into murder. It's just so crazy to watch these characters break, and I'm having a grand old time and thankful I'm not a part of that group right now because shit, secrets be getting spilled and it feels personal. But thoughts if you have any on episode 3, gonna keep watching this one, let me know down below, leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new around here. Until next time everyone, please take care and have a good one.